Hi, this is Pete Byrne from Naked Eyes, and you're listening to the New Wave Music Podcast. Always something there to remind me.
Welcome to the New Wave Music Podcast. On this episode, we're going to do another new music spotlight, this time with the band Indigo Waves. Today we have with us Matthew and Austin. Welcome to the show, guys. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
First off, can you guys tell us who you guys are and what you play and who else is in the band?
My name's Austin, and really it's just me and Matt. We have we've been making music for a long time, and I play mostly guitar and sing, and Matt's always been the synth guy, and he's kind of the one that got me really into the new wave thing, actually. But he plays guitar as well, and he sings as well. But yeah, I would say I'm like lead vocals and like rhythm guitar mostly.
You say it's basically just you two guys. So when we saw you earlier, were those just friends or guest musicians that were on stage with you?
So we have like a live band that we play with. Actually, my wife plays bass for us. So it's really fun having my wife play. And then yeah, we just have we've gone through people over the years, but we actually love our lineup right now. So we have Carlos drumming for us, and he's been drumming for us for almost 2 years now. So I mean, he's been with us for a long time. But when I say like me and Matt do it, it's just like we make the music. That's really all I mean by that. But yeah, they're awesome live. And then we have a guy named River playing synth for us right now, and then my wife's name was Whitney. So
nice. Okay. How did the band come together?
So we started playing together in 2017, and there was a band back then called Punch Buggy, and they recruited us into it. And we've outlived them all in the band, and the band has turned into Indigo Waves, and we slowly took over. So
yeah,
kind of interesting. It started out with completely different members, and now we have ownership. So like our Facebook, if you go back on our Facebook account, it's a post from someone we don't even know who it is.
It's just been years of slow progression. Obviously, people like go through things in life where they need a change and stuff, and we've had guys where, they really enjoyed it, but they just don't have the time or whatever it may be. So yeah, it just ended up me and Matt over the years. I think we're on year 6 of playing together, but Indigo's been going for like 3 or 4.
I was going to say, me and Austin are like best friends, so it's easy to keep playing because we'll just hang out with each other either way.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, was the previous band a similar kind of sound, or was it something totally different than what Indigo Waves is currently?
I think we had similar goals of how we wanted to sound, but we just weren't as good back then. So I think we definitely are evolving a lot more, taking more inspiration from the past and our newer music. So yeah, I think before we were going for a little more modern sound, and that's kind of shifted over time.
Well, how we were introduced to Indigo Waves was we caught you guys opening for the Ocean Blue late last year. How did you guys come to open for them?
So someone had submitted our music to the radio station, the New Wave radio station here. And so the DJ who was putting on the Ocean Blue show had heard us and reached out to us to have us open. So kind of cool because we didn't have any contact, and we really like the Ocean Blue. So that was really a pleasure for us to get to play with them.
Well, it's so funny that you would say that, because my next question was, are you guys fans of the Ocean Blue? And so it sounds like you were familiar with them before opening on that show.
So River, the guy who plays synth for us, he used to run a new wave podcast for Aggie Radio. And so he's introduced us to a bunch of new wave. And so we had heard a little bit, but then once we got the introduction, we were like, oh yeah, we really like this, dove in deeper, just past the initial singles that most people, well, I guess not most people, some people would know.
Yeah, I love the Ocean Blue. I was so excited. That's probably like one of my favorite shows of the year was playing with them because we'd never really gotten to. I mean, me and Matt listened to New Wave all the time, but we'd never had an opportunity to actually play with a New Wave band that was like a real New Wave band. I don't know. So it was like cool to see someone who was actually like charting at the time, and being able to meet those guys and talk with them and perform alongside them.
For some reason, it's much more exciting to play for a group of people that are older than us than like teenagers. I'm not sure why, but it's so thrilling because I feel like it helps me feel better about my sound, that it's a little more nuanced or something. I don't know.
Well, it is rare to find a younger band like you guys that seems to be influenced by New Wave. Can you guys tell us who your influences are?
We love Orange Juice, and I love Naked Eyes. Naked Eyes is like one of my favorite bands. But Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, Orange Juice and the Smiths and Talking Heads is probably my favorite New Wave band. Whole Stop Making Sense performance, really big inspiration there. So we've been trying to capture some of that magic of the like early 80s, 83. And it is hard to do, I'll tell you what. I don't know why.
It's so hard.
They had something going for them. So.
Well, they had been doing it for quite a few years.
Yeah,
that's true.
So let's talk about your new album, or your first album, I guess we'll say. I love that opening track, Signs. A very mellow instrumental that leads right into the second track, Symbols. Take your time. Don't say anything at all. I don't know. And that one has an amazing beat. It made me wonder if those two tracks started off as one and then were split. Am I on to anything there, or am I way off?
You're right. You caught us. We thought we could be cool and split it up and not have people notice, so it looks like you're catching on.
But it works wonderfully. I mean, you still have that sound that continues into the second song, but including the beat into the second song gives it its life of its own.
Yeah. That one was a lot of fun. We used our Roland Juno 106 for that song, which is a very popular synth for the new wave time, and I think we did most of our album on that synth. So
yeah,
kind of a lot of magic in that chimey Roland sound it has.
We're big Roland guys. Like we have tons of synths between the two of us, but for some reason, like the 106 made it on everything when we had one.
You always go back to the main one, huh?
Yeah, that seems to be a big carrier for sure.
Almost all the songs on your debut album are quite short. Do you guys simply prefer shorter tracks, or is that just how it worked out for the album?
I think we've just got terrible attention spans. We'll start writing a song, and then it's like, all right, I need to work on something new at this point. Honestly, that's the best answer I can give for that.
I was just going to say, sometimes a short album with quick listens is sometimes the best way to go.
We kind of have that same mindset. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I just say it switches things up. You never get too bored of any song, but I don't know. I wish that I had the attention span to write like an 11-minute song. They're so cool, but I get lost in them.
Yeah, I feel like when we wrote this, I mean, as a newer band, and I think with the younger audience, I think it is more common for those shorter tracks, and I think they just perform better. When you have a longer song, it doesn't do as well. And I think there was a lot of things that we were thinking about going into this album of like what we wanted. And like what you said with Signs and Symbols, like before we even, we're making the album, that was something me and Matt had always talked about that we really wanted, was a song that like seamlessly flowed into another song where like even when you play it on Spotify, it just goes straight to the next one. We thought that was awesome. So, I mean, I think one of our big goals moving forward is having, getting more experimental, having a longer track, and just kind of, just do what we want to do,
So at some point you'll have a 16-minute Pink Floyd kind of song, huh?
That's right. We're going to go from 16 tracks to 16 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. 16 each.
Yeah.
So, guys, I got to ask, the song Jerry Weiner, is there a story behind that song and the name of it?
There is, yes. I used to work at a health insurance office, and there was this guy who lived right by the office. He was one of our clients, and he'd come into the office, and he was always barefoot for some reason, and like he'd always have tar on him. I don't know why. The man, anyways, the guy would just come in and complain about random stuff to us, and so I hated when he'd come in because he just had the most negative energy to him. So the song's just kind of like, the reason, you're alone is because you're always complaining and staring at your phone, I guess, is kind of the vibe of that. So
I love it.
It's fun because me and Matt like often write songs together. I think Matt really does well with the production side of things, and then I'll usually either come up with like a lick or the lyrics to it. So it's fun because we'll usually like work together on something like that. I don't really remember the writing process for Jerry in particular, but it's fun because Matt will have like a perspective of how a song is, and then I'll like have a completely different look into it. So it's like kind of fun when we merge these ideas and it becomes like one piece together. But yeah, Jerry Weiner was kind of based off of that guy that just bugged Matt.
So you didn't know Mr. Jerry Weiner.
I never knew the guy, no. And I'm like, to me, like, since I don't know who that is, I kind of wrote it like talking about like phones and stuff. Like, I just feel like we live in a really digital age where people become like consumed by the screen in front of them. And like, that's kind of where I was more took it when we were writing it, is like, people would just become so consumed with like this fake screen that like they never went out and experienced reality. So and I feel like we talk about that a lot in songs, but yeah, I don't know. It's funny just because they like merge together, and it's just, who knows what it means? It can mean whatever you want it to be.
Another song, Nissan Pathfinder.
I'm not one to talk about things I need. Less dead, I'm in my head again. I cannot seem to find the things I need.
There's got to be a backstory behind that one as well, right?
Literally no backstory on that one. I regret to inform you. We record all of the songs ourselves, just here and at my house or Austin's. We have little home studios set up. One day we just saved the song, didn't know what to call it yet, so we saved it as Nissan Pathfinder, probably because we saw one in the parking lot or something, and the name just stuck. So
I love it.
We'll name song something, but we'll tell each other like, we cannot call it this. Like, this is a horrible name. But like over time, the name will just stick because that's what we will always refer to it as, like, to each other. So we've tried really hard to like moving forward, give it time in the moment to actually name the song instead of like coming back and naming it later. But I don't know.
That kind of reminds me of New Order, how they would have a great song, but the title had absolutely nothing to do with the song itself. They always did that.
It makes you think a little bit. You're trying to tie it together, and really there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just a little trick.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of ways it's freeing, because it just seems like lame if we would have just named it like the chorus sentence. Like, it's fun to like just go a little outside of the box on it.
I really enjoyed the tracks Thanks. Draenor Manor. and Dark Matter.
But the scariest thing of all was the dark matter.
Do you have any personal favorite tracks that you'd recommend to our audience to get familiar with your band?
That's a great question. I personally, out of all of our songs, I really love Virtual Vacation.
She took a virtual vacation to the ruined south of France. You want to be with me, not willing to take that chance. But all I can do is stay back. But all I can do
Is one that I really enjoy. And then I really like Can't Let Go, but I'm biased because I wrote it.
but I cannot let you go. But I cannot let you leave. I swear all alone, little one. I swear this is painfully.
You don't know how happy it makes me to hear that Draenor Manor made it on your list of favorites. That one I'm always having to convince Austin to let me play it live.
Matt's
'cause I
passion project. Yeah.
It's a great
I
song.
love. Thank you. Yeah, I love making the like digital synthesizers. So the Juno 106 is analog, but you start playing with like the late 80s digital synthesizers, and you can get these really magical sounds that just make me feel like I'm a kid again. So the flute sound in that track I like a lot. I honestly, when I think of our sound, I kind of think Jerry Weiner defines our sound.
We've been
That's
playing
true.
it for a long time. Yeah. I mean, Draenor is like, it's awesome. Like, so the big synth in that one is the Roland D50, which was pretty popular when it came out. So it's like fun because some of the sounds sound so silly. So we try to figure out ways that we can incorporate them. Like Draenor turned out great and we're really happy with it. But we have so many demos that we like never put out of just like the strangest D50, like, and like wavetable synths too. Sometimes you can get like crazy squealing sounds where it just sounds like a cat is just, you know, yelling out in the alley behind your house. So just stuff like that. It's just fun to experiment.
We recently compiled all our demos together, and I think we had 150 unused demos. So we write a bunch
Wow.
and then we go through and choose what we like. So
Wow, that
It's
is
the
a lot.
attention span thing.
Yeah, another song I really enjoyed is the instrumental track, The Big Game. But I gotta ask,
good.
probably Matt, is that a cat meow that was thrown in there at the end?
that is not. That is a Prophet 8 synthesizer. That one's just routing the pressure. So the harder you press on the key, it'll affect the pitch of the note. So you just press it hard and it will go, "Meow." Yeah, kind of fun. I'm so
Yeah.
excited you asked that question.
The big game.
Steve notices those kind of things a lot, sometimes a lot more than I do. You know, those funny little sounds that'll be included in a track. And yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Good, yeah. Yeah, that's what I love about making songs, throwing little Easter eggs in.
So some of your instrumental tracks sound like they were written or maybe even inspired for a video game. Have you guys ever thought about licensing your songs out for that purpose?
Drop it, Matt. Tell him.
I am currently making a video game soundtrack. I have no idea how to get it licensed for someone to use, but I'm making it for fun because I love
Nice.
I love like a 90s video game sound. So Draenor Manor is a location in RuneScape, which is a game I played a lot as a kid. And so yes, you caught on. We love kind of the vaporwave area of music. So
again, that was Steve who really came up with that question. Like I say, he notices these kind of sounds, so he's on top
Steve
of
are
that.
synced. I'm feeling
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I think that like it's kind of Matt's happy place. Like if he gets home from a long day of work, I can always find him making a video game soundtrack. And I think it's just like the peaceful instrumental. Like so when we're writing a real song, well, I'm not saying they're not real songs, but like when we're writing a song with like lyrics that like we try to put out as a single, I feel like it sometimes takes like mental energy. But something about making stuff like that is just so freeing and relaxing. So
Yeah,
So-
like Nissan Pathfinder, I have no idea where I'd throw in a cat sound, but it makes me so happy that I was able to throw it in somewhere else.
Nice. Lots of bands, and you kind of talked about this a little bit, but maybe you can delve it into a little bit further. But lots of bands have one member who does all the songwriting. It sounds like it's a little bit more of a collaborative effort with you guys. Is that the case?
I'd say usually what happens is one of us will make a chord progression. Usually if it's me, I'll write something and record it like a full demo without lyrics, send it to Austin. He'll throw lyrics on, revise, add some guitar to it. If Austin's writing a song, he'll write usually guitar chords, and then I'll try and add synths and produce it up a little bit.
yeah, I would say Matt's way more on the production side. Like a lot of times it's crazy. Like I'll come over and he's like, "Hey, these are like 3 full songs that I made today." And he just like loves to pound out songs, but then, like we'll try to revise them and add lyrics to them. And that's where they can become like, I think it can be hard sometimes when you're writing lyrics to a song that's already finished, but it's also nice in a lot of ways. So yeah, I think that me and Matt just have different gifts in that way. He's super good at the production side.
So you just released a new single, Ghost 2. What can you tell us about this song?
We wanted to write a sequel to the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze in it. So it's kind of about talking to your dead girlfriend, dead boyfriend, whoever it is, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you just got to move on." So it's no personal experience with someone like that dying, but we love
Ghost
the
was
idea of making a song like that.
Ghost was a huge movie for me as a kid. Like I remember like growing up, I had like a little DVD binder, and I watched Ghost so much, and it was probably such a weird movie to watch at like 6 years old or something, but like it was just always like my childhood movie. So it was, I don't remember if it was me or Matt that had the idea to actually like, correlate this, but I just think it's like such a fun concept of giving it like a really unique experience of like sequeling a movie that's like 30 years old.
And a very popular one at that.
Yeah.
Looks like you guys just played a festival in New Mexico. And I also saw some of your stats saying that you guys have had songs that have had over 100,000 streams. Any upcoming shows that you'd like our audience to know about?
We have a few in the works right now. It's funny. Me and Matt are both seniors in college, and we both like kind of talked about how something we wanted to do is make sure that we both graduate. So we really tried to make sure that plays its role. I think Matt kind of already got the job he was hoping to get, so I don't think Matt's as passionate about it as me, but I like just have to graduate. My wife will kill me if I don't. So but we're wrapping up with that right now. I think there's like a week left, so it's kind of unknown in the moment like what we have in the works, but we definitely hope to play some shows this summer, and yeah, like you said, stats are doing great. We've seen a really big support lately. I think we're up. Yeah, we're doing pretty good right now. So
Good. Well, so I understand that you guys are working on a second album. What can we expect from that?
We're kind of at like a crossroads where we're almost writing like 2 separate albums. So I don't think we ever really know what the final product will be until we get there. But Matt actually recently bought a JC40, which is like a popular amp that I feel like a lot of people like for the chorus on it. So we've been writing a lot of Smithsy sounding songs, just like really jangly type stuff. Yeah, Matt, what do you think? What do you think the future holds?
Yeah, we definitely have two kind of distinct styles. One's kind of more electronic and dancey. I feel like during COVID, when we stopped seeing people, it really put this desire in me to make music that people could dance to, because I missed, human interaction and parties. Yeah. And then the other side of it is we really are in jangly guitar surf rock right now as well. And usually that's how we end up getting more new wave sounds, is we're blending the two worlds, and it's electronic, but it's also guitar driven and organic. And so it's usually kind of special when it all comes together at the end. But like Austin was saying, we don't even know what songs we're going to throw on until like the day we release it almost. Because we have so many demos to choose from, we kind of try and orchestrate what goes together, but what also will keep it fresh and interesting. So
it sounds like you guys have a lot going on right now. So I'm assuming that there's no sort of real release date for a next album.
We have like 4 or 5 singles ready to go pretty much. We're wanting to rework them a little bit. I think we just really want the production to sound great on these ones. We're working with a couple people to see like just what can get us. I don't know. We want to have an opportunity to be a little bit more experimental with different production methods. So we're working with a couple different people and to finalize them. I mean, they really are almost done. When we went down and played in New Mexico like a couple weeks ago, we actually played, I think, 3 new songs that no one's ever heard before. So like they're done. It's just a matter of getting the recording right where we want it to let it go.
Well, your self-titled debut album, as well as some singles, are available on Bandcamp. Is that the best place to find your music?
I'd say Spotify or Apple Music are great resources as well. We're on YouTube, and I think we're on SoundCloud, Tidal. We're on pretty much every streaming service that you could want.
You can always shoot us a message as well, and we can send you out a CD. We're saving up for vinyls, but it's a big initial cost. So
it's funny, there's a vinyl shortage from like our experience in the last like little bit. We've worked with a couple companies to try to like finally make it happen. And it's become less of an issue of money and more of like an issue of time. Because
I've heard that
some of the turnarounds are like a year or 2 out. Seriously, like that far out. And like by then I'm like, well, maybe I'd want the new album to be on vinyl. So that's been like a new issue we've been dealing with. So that's a problem of being an independent artist, I suppose, but that's what happens.
We'll make sure to put all your links to where our audience can find your music in the show description as well. And I highly encourage our audience to check you guys out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Austin, Matt, we want to thank you guys very much for joining us on the New Wave Music Podcast. We wish you the best success possible and look forward to what you guys have coming in the future.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, it's an honor to be here, and it's fun that we have such a great support system with the New Wave community because it is something that me and Matt love so much. So it's great to hear that you guys are enjoying it too. So thank you so much for having us.
You are very welcome. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on with us. We really enjoyed talking to you. And like Steve said, we wish you the best of success.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.